Good afternoon and welcome. Over the next 3 to 5 minutes, I will be going over my assigned initiative, who I am, what my role in the district is, what the focus of the initiative assigned to me is about, why is it a priority over the next 5 years, and what the success outcomes of the initiative are set to achieve. So as you can see on the screen, my assigned initiative is equitable weighted funding. So the question is, just what is equitable weighted funding? Last year we focused on site-based, which in a nutshell is it's attributed to the site, the building. Base cost funding deals with funding that's geared towards achieving an outcome for test purposes as assigned by a state. School program budgeting is just what it says. It's the focus on what a program is, who's leading the initiative, and that seems to be the most important thing. But for us in CF, we are doing equitable weighted funding, which is a subset, a deep dive into student-based budgeting. It is geared towards weighted funding of the students, and it makes them and their needs the highest and the greatest priority. So as of last year, we started our equitable weighted funding via ESSER 2 and ESSER 3. And what it focuses on is, as aforementioned, the needs of the students, whether or not they're monolingual, whether or not they have an IEP, whether or not they're multilingual with an IEP or don't have an IEP, as you can see on the screen, a student with a disability. Is it a student with a disability who's an English language learner and an IEP? So it really takes a deep dive into where our resources should be focused and allocated. Previously, and what makes this student-based budgeting so sweet is the fact that it follows the students. So as the population of need in the district changes from year to year, those students within the building get what they need, not because of the building, but because of their need. So equitable weighted funding is rooted in our mantra of equity, empowerment, and excellence. And if you look at this picture, it shows the importance of why we can't treat everyone equally because the needs are different, but we treat everyone fairly with equity. And so as you can see in that picture, and I love this picture, it starts off everyone being on the same playing field, but not necessarily having the same resources to enjoy the same game. And by the end, when you do it under a portion of equity, you see the kid at the far end with both hands up, ready to be part of the game. And what makes that so sweet is when you provide equity, it gives that empowerment. The two hands up in the classroom, where kids empowered because they have the resources, where they're not ashamed to participate in class, they're not ashamed to make a mistake, but they're empowered, they're encouraged to actively participate in their educational journey, so to speak. So that's where we want to go with this student weighted funding, or that's where we're going with this weighted funding, to be able to give the resources to the students so that they feel that they have what they need, they're empowered. And then once they're empowered, what it leads to is a sense of excellence. We're talking about excellence academically, and we're talking about excellence holistically. So we want the resources around that can support the social and emotional cultivation of the student, as well as the academic. We're moving towards a place where potentiality is strained until it hurts, right? So where you can have a student dealing with a maybe, the potentiality of maybe I can be an honor roll student, to now getting A's and B's, so that potentiality turns into a reality in terms of, okay, now I'm seeing what excellence looks like. And then it moves from there from a reality to actuality. So where it's not just sometimes it's a reality, but where it becomes part of the student, part of the culture, part of the development, part of who CF is, where high achievement and excellence is just what we do. So the outcomes, what are the outcomes? The outcomes of the weighted student funding is additional autonomy for the principals and the stakeholders at the school, where they can make timely decisions of what they need, when they need it, how they need it, and they don't have to ask the central office for it. Focused dollars, you're talking about interactive conversations that are happening at the site between the administration, the principals, to the to the teachers who have that first ground knowledge of what the students need, greater sense of transparency. So again, you're having that discussion at the administrative level, but not just the central office to the administrative level at the site, but at the site to the teachers, to the students. Students begin to talk to their families about what's happening. And then so it just creates this family net of understanding and awareness of where the dollars and cents are actually going. Um, and then schools and via the teachers and the principals, they're able to talk about what is needed in the long run. So as contracts come up and negotiations are happening, what is the actual structure and infrastructure that is needed at the site for a successful outcome for the students? What has to happen? Is it more teachers? Is it less teachers? Different resources, more programs, and then those things can be built for the successful outcome of generations, the next generation to come under that new contract. And then lastly, this weighted student form, weighted equitable funding will create a sense of greater newness. So it's newness now at the site level, because you started with ESSER 2 and ESSER 3, but now it moves to the general fund, which is our greatest set of resources. And so we're doing buildings of brick and mortar around the district, but now we're doing greater building of brain power and cognitive self-sufficiency with the students, but also with the teachers and with the staff, because we're coming into a new place of what it is to allocate resources and disperse it so that the students have a rich year of education. The teachers have a rich year in teaching. Administrators have a rich year in supporting. So I thank you for your 5 minutes. Actually, I probably hit 7, but I'm not on the 20 I was the first time around. So I look forward to having a great year with you. And I don't even believe I said who I was. So I'm Kerry Simmons, the Chief Financial Officer. I lead the departments, or I supervise the departments of finance and technology. Technology is led by Erendita Montez. Finance is led by me. If you ever need me, I'm sure you know how to reach me. Have a great one. And again, this is going to be an exciting and wonderful year.